Ever wondered how top-tier engineers handle a massive production outage or a broken CI/CD pipeline under pressure? In this video, we will cover DevOps Real-World Case Studies practice questions and explanations. Master the complexities of modern software delivery with our deep dive into DevOps Real-World Case Studies. In this video, we are diving deep into 30 comprehensive real-world DevOps case studies. We aren't just looking at theory. We are looking at the messy, complex scenarios that actually happen in modern software delivery environments. Make sure to grab a coffee and a notepad, because these questions are designed to challenge your architectural thinking and problem-solving skills. A financial services company is experiencing 45-minute build times for their monolithic Java application. They want to implement a shift-left security approach without increasing the build time further. Which strategy is most effective? Option A. Run a full DAST, dynamic application security testing. Scan on every commit. Option B. Implement incremental builds and run SAST, static application security testing, only on changed files during the PR phase. Option C. Move all security scanning to a monthly manual audit process. Option D. Disable unit tests to make room for security scanning tools. The correct answer is B. Shifting left involves moving security checks earlier in the development lifecycle. However, doing so must not paralyze developer productivity. A full DAST scan, option A, is typically slow and requires a running environment, making it unsuitable for every commit in a 45-minute build. Option B is the best choice because incremental builds reduce total compilation time, and focused SAST ensures that security vulnerabilities in new code are caught immediately without the overhead of scanning the entire codebase every time, thus maintaining a balance between speed and security. Your team is using Terraform to manage multi-cloud resources. Recently, a team member manually changed a security group setting in the AWS console. What will happen during the next Terraform apply? Option A. Terraform will ignore the manual change and keep the state as is. Option B. Terraform will fail with a state mismatch error. Option C. Terraform will detect the drift and attempt to revert the resource to the configuration defined in the TF files. Option D. Terraform will automatically update the TF files to match the manual change. The correct answer is C. Terraform operates on a declarative model and maintains a state file to track the current managed infrastructure. When Terraform plan or apply is run, Terraform compares the actual state of the infrastructure against the configuration files. This process is known as drift detection. Since the configuration file is the source of truth, Terraform will see that the manual change does not match the desired state and will propose an execution plan to revert the security group back to its defined state in the code. An e-commerce platform is launching a new checkout service. They need to ensure zero downtime and want to test the new version with 5% of real traffic before a full rollout. Which deployment strategy should they use? Option A. Blue-green deployment. Option B. Recreate deployment. Option C. Canary deployment. Option D. Rolling update. The correct answer is C. Canary deployment is specifically designed for this use case. It allows you to route a small percentage of traffic, the canary, to the new version of the service while the majority remains on the stable version. This enables real-world testing and monitoring for errors before proceeding with the full rollout. while blue, green. Option A provides zero downtime. It typically involves a 100% switch of traffic at once. Rolling updates. Option D replace instances gradually but don't inherently provide the granular traffic splitting required for testing with specifically 5% of users. Your SRE team notices a high error budget burn rate. The application is responding correctly, but users are complaining about slow page loads. Which metric should you prioritize to identify the bottleneck? Option A CPU utilization. Option B throughput, requests per second. Option C P99 latency. Option D memory usage. The correct answer is C. In SRE practices, latency is one of the 4 golden signals, alongside traffic, errors, and saturation. While CPU and memory are important for capacity, they don't directly measure user experience. P99 latency, the 99th percentile, tells you how the slowest 1% of your users are experiencing the site. Since users are complaining about slowness despite a lack of functional errors, focusing on tail latency, P99, helps identify the bottlenecks affecting the most dissatisfied users, which is the primary cause of the error budget burn in this context. A database failure results in 2 hours of lost data. Even though the recovery took only 30 minutes, the business requirement states that no more than 15 minutes of data should ever be lost. This is a violation of which metric? Option A RTO, recovery time objective. Option B RPO, recovery point objective. Option C MTTR, mean time to repair. Option D SLA, service level agreement. The correct answer is B. RPO, recovery point objective, refers to the maximum tolerable period in which data might be lost due to an incident. If the business says they can only lose 15 minutes of data but lost 2 hours, the RPO was violated. RTO, recovery time objective, on the other hand, is the target time to restore the system after a failure. In this case, 30 minutes. Even if RTO is met, RPO can still be failed if the backup frequency or replication lag is too high. A developer reports that their pod in Kubernetes is stuck in crash loop back off. You check the logs and see standard_init_Linux, Go. 211, exec user process caused exec format error. What is the most likely cause? Option A. The pod does not have enough memory to start. Option B. The container image was built for a different CPU architecture, e.g., ARM versus x86. Option C. The Kubernetes node is under heavy load. Option D. The liveness probe is failing. The correct answer is B. The error, exec format error, is a classic symptom of an architecture mismatch. This often happens when a developer builds a Docker image on an Apple Silicon M1, M2, M3, Mac, ARM architecture, and tries to run it on a standard Linux node in the cloud, x86-64 architecture. The OS cannot execute the binary because the instruction set is incompatible. While memory, option A, or probes, option D, can cause crash loops, they would produce different log messages like killed or liveness probe failed. To secure a CI/CD pipeline, you want to prevent secret sprawl, which is the most secure method for providing a database password to a containerized application in A production environment? Option A. Hardcode the password in the application properties file. Option B. Store the password as a plain text environment variable in the C tool. Option C. Use a dedicated secrets manager, like HashiCorp Vault or AWS Secrets Manager, and inject the secret at runtime via a sidecar or CSI driver. Option D. Commit an encrypted.env file to the Git repository. The correct answer is C. Dynamic secret injection is the gold standard for DevSecOps. By using a secrets manager. Option C. Secrets are never stored in the codebase or the C tool's configuration. They are fetched at the last possible moment, runtime, and can be rotated automatically without redeploying the code. Hardcoding. Option A. Or plain text environment variables. Option B. Are insecure because they leave the password visible in logs, history, or to anyone with access to the repo tool. You need to ensure that 500 Linux servers have a specific version of Nginx installed and that the configuration is consistent. You want to avoid configuration drift. Which tool type is best suited for this? Option A. Terraform. Option B. Ansible. Option C. Jenkins. Option D. Prometheus. The correct answer is B. Ansible is a configuration management tool designed to manage the internal state of operating systems and applications. It is idempotent, meaning it ensures that the desired state, Nginx version and config, is maintained across all 500 servers. While Terraform, option A, is great for provisioning the servers themselves, it is less suited for granular oxygen monosulfide level configuration once the server is running. Jenkins is for CD, and Prometheus is for monitoring. A startup is using a serverless architecture with AWS Lambda. They notice that the first request after a period of inactivity takes 5 seconds, while subsequent requests take 200 milliseconds. What is this phenomenon called? Option A. Cold start. Option B. Throttling. Option C. Provisioned concurrency. Option D. Network latency. The correct answer is A. A cold start occurs in FAS, function as a service, environments when a function is invoked after not being used for a while. The cloud provider must spin up a new container instance, initialize the runtime, and load your code, which adds latency to the first request. Subsequent requests are warm because they reuse the existing container. Option C. Provisioned concurrency is actually a feature used to solve cold starts, not the name of the problem itself. Your team wants to maintain a clean, linear Git history where every commit on the main branch is a verified working version. Which Git strategy should be enforced for merging feature branches? Option A. Merge commit. Option B. Rebase and merge, or squash and merge. Option C. Fast forward only. Option D. Git checkout. The correct answer is B. Rebase and merge, or squash and merge, rewrites the commit history of the feature branch onto the tip of the main branch, creating a linear path without diamond merge patterns. This makes it easier to track when a feature was introduced and simplifies the process of reverting changes if necessary. A standard merge commit. Option A. Creates a nonlinear history that can become cluttered and difficult to read in large projects. In a Jenkins pipeline, you want to ensure that if the build stage fails, The deploy stage is never executed. How is this achieved by default in a declarative pipeline? Option A. By using a try-catch block around every stage. Option B. Jenkins pipelines stop execution of subsequent stages automatically upon a stage failure. Option C. By manually checking the status of the previous stage using an if statement. Option D. Jenkins always runs all stages regardless of previous failures. The correct answer is B. In Jenkins declarative pipelines, the default behavior is fail fast if any stage exits with a non-zero status or encounters an error. The entire pipeline is marked as failed, and all subsequent stages are skipped. This prevents the system from attempting to deploy a broken build, which is a fundamental safety feature of CI/CD. A team has an SLO, service level objective, of 99.9% availability. In a 30-day month, how much total downtime is allowed before the error budget is exhausted? Option A, approximately 43 minutes. Option B, approximately 8 hours. Option C, approximately 1 hour. Option D, approximately 10 minutes. The correct answer is A. To calculate this, 30 days * 24 hours * 60 minutes equals 43,200 total minutes. Availability of 99.9% means an allowable error rate of 0.1%. Calculation: 43,200 times 0.001 equals 43.2 minutes. Understanding these calculations is vital for SREs to manage risk and decide when to freeze deployments to prioritize stability. Which of the following is a best practice for creating Docker files to minimize the attack surface of a container? Option A. Run the application as the root user to avoid permission issues. Option B. Use latest as the base image tag to get the newest security patches. Option C. Use multi-stage builds and a non-root user to run the application. Option D. Install all possible debugging tools in the production image. The correct answer is C. Multi-stage builds allow you to compile your code in one stage and copy only the necessary artifacts to a final, lean, distroless, or minimal base image, reducing the number of binaries available to an attacker. Using a non-root user. Option C. Ensures that if the application is compromised, the attacker does not have full administrative privileges over the container or host. You are managing infrastructure across development, staging, and production. What is the best way to handle environment-specific configurations in Terraform? Option A. Copy and paste the entire code into 3 different folders. Option B. Use Terraform workspaces or separate TFVARS files for each environment. Option C. Hardcode the values for each environment in the main configuration file. Option D. Manually edit the TF files before running the apply command for each environment. The correct answer is B. Terraform TFVARS files or workspaces allow you to use the exact same underlying infrastructure, code, modules, while injecting different variables, like instance size, VPC IDs, or tags, for different environments. This promotes the don't repeat yourself dry principle and ensures that the infrastructure in staging is as close to production as possible. A team is struggling with different developers using different versions of a shared library. leading to works on my machine issues. Which tools should they implement to centralize and version their binaries? Option A, GitLab. Option B, Sonatype Nexus or JFrog Artifactory. Option C, Grafana. Option D, Slack. The correct answer is B. While Git manages source code, artifact repositories like Nexus or Artifactory. Option B, manage the compiled binaries, libraries, and Docker images. By using an artifact manager, the team can ensure that every environment, dev, test, prod, pulls the exact same version-controlled binary, eliminating discrepancies caused by rebuilding the same code multiple times. What is the primary difference between continuous delivery and continuous deployment? Option A. Continuous delivery requires manual approval to deploy to production, while continuous deployment is automated. Option B. Continuous deployment is only for mobile apps. Option C. Continuous delivery involves only automated testing. Option D. There is no difference. The terms are interchangeable. The correct answer is A. In continuous delivery, every change is ready to be deployed to production, but the actual release requires a manual push of a button by a human. In continuous deployment, every change that passes the automated testing stages of the pipeline is automatically released to production without any human intervention. A distributed system is generating millions of log lines per second. Developers are finding it impossible to trace a single user's request across 10 different microservices. What should be implemented? Option A. Increase the log level to debug on all services. Option B. Distributed tracing with correlation IDs. Option C. Store logs in a standard text file on each server. Option D. Ask users to provide the exact timestamp of their error. The correct answer is B. Distributed tracing, using tools like Jaeger or AWS X-Ray, involves attaching a unique correlation ID to a request as it enters the system. This ID is passed along to every downstream service. By searching for this ID in a centralized logging platform, developers can see the entire journey of a single request across the whole architecture. An application experiences a sudden surge in traffic every Monday at 9 a.m. Which auto-scaling policy would be most effective and cost-efficient? Option A. Reactive scaling, based on CPU reaching 80%. Option B. Scheduled scaling, preemptively scaling up at 8:45 a.m. Option C. Manual scaling, hiring an engineer to manually add servers. Option D. No scaling, keep the servers at max capacity all the time. The correct answer is B. Since the traffic pattern is predictable, every Monday at 9 a.m., scheduled scaling is the best choice. Reactive scaling, option A, often suffers from a lag, where the servers take several minutes to spin up while the users are already experiencing slowness. Scheduled scaling ensures capacity is ready before the surge happens, while still allowing you to scale down afterward to save costs. What is a dark launch in the context of DevOps? Option A. Deploying code during the night to avoid traffic. Option B. Releasing a feature to production but hiding it from users via feature toggles. Option C. A deployment that fails and takes down the entire site. Option D. Deleting the Git repository history before a release. The correct answer is B. A dark launch involves deploying code to the production environment but using feature toggles, or feature flags, to keep the functionality invisible to the end users. This allows the team to test the stability of the code in the production environment and even perform load testing by running the code in the background without affecting the user interface. In Kubernetes, which component is responsible for ensuring that the desired number of pod replicas are running at all times? Option A, Kube AppServer. Option B, Kube Scheduler. Option C, Kube Controller Manager, specifically the replica set controller. Option D, etcd. The correct answer is C. The Kube Controller Manager is the brain that monitors the current state of the cluster and makes changes to move toward the desired state. The replica set controller within it specifically watches for pod counts. If a pod crashes, the controller notices the mismatch and instructs the API server to start a new one. The scheduler, option B, only decides which node a pod should live on. A developer needs temporary access to an S3 bucket to upload a file. What is the most secure way to grant this access in AWS? Option A, give the developer the root account credentials for an hour. Option B, create an IAM user with a permanent full access policy. Option C, use IAM roles with STS, Security Token Service, to provide temporary, time-bound credentials. Option D, make the S3 bucket public for the duration of the upload. The correct answer is C. The principle of least privilege and temporary credentials are core security pillars. AWS STS allows you to grant assume role permissions that expire after a set time. This eliminates the risk of long-term credentials. Option B, being leaked and is far safer than making data public. Option D, or sharing root access. Option A. Which DevOps practice focuses on recording every change made to the infrastructure? Who made it, and when? Primarily for audit purposes? Option A, continuous monitoring. Option B, GitOps, infrastructure as code via version control. Option C, continuous integration. Option D, chaos engineering. The correct answer is B. By using GitOps, your Git repository becomes the audit log. Every change to infrastructure requires a commit or pull request, which inherently includes a timestamp and the author's identity. This provides a single source of truth that is both version controlled and auditable, making it superior to manual changes that might not be recorded. You are building a C pipeline. Which type of test should be run first to provide the fastest feedback to the developer? Option A, end-to-end, E2E, tests. Option B, unit tests. Option C, performance tests. Option D, user acceptance tests, UAT. The correct answer is B. Unit tests are designed to test small, isolated pieces of code. They are extremely fast to execute, seconds, by running them first in the pipeline. The testing pyramid approach. You can catch syntax or logic errors immediately, preventing the waste of time and resources on slower tests like E2E or UAT if the core logic is already broken. After a major production outage, the team gathers to discuss what happened. The goal is to identify systemic failures without blaming individuals. What is this called? Option A. Performance review. Option B. Blame-free postmortem. Option C. Root cause analysis. RCA. With disciplinary action. Option D. Daily stand-up. The correct answer is B. A blame-free postmortem is a critical DevOps cultural practice. It assumes that engineers act in good faith and that failures are the result of poor processes or tooling rather than individual incompetence. This encourages honesty and deep learning, which prevents the same error from happening again. Whereas blame, option C, leads to people hiding mistakes. A microservices application is running in a Kubernetes cluster. You want to ensure that service A can only talk to service B and is blocked from talking to service C. What should you implement? Option A. A physical firewall in front of the cluster. Option B. Kubernetes network policies. Option C. Assigning different IP addresses to each pod. Option D. Modifying the application code to check the sender's identity. The correct answer is B. Network policies are the Kubernetes native way to control traffic flow between pods. Layer 3/4 security. By default, all pods in a cluster can talk to each other. Network policies allow you to define ingress and egress rules using labels, effectively creating a zero-trust environment within the cluster. Which practice involves intentionally injecting failures into a production system, like killing nodes or increasing latency, to test the system's resilience? Option A. Penetration testing. Option B. Load testing. Option C. Chaos engineering. Option D. Unit testing. The correct answer is C. Chaos engineering, pioneered by Netflix with Chaos Monkey, is the discipline of experimenting on a system in order to build confidence in the system's capability to withstand turbulent conditions in production. It helps teams identify weak points that monitoring or standard testing might miss. In a containerized environment, what happens to the data stored inside a container's writable layer when the container is deleted? Option A. The data is permanently saved to the host OS. Option B. The data is lost forever. Option C. The data is moved to a backup volume automatically. Option D. The data is sent to the Docker registry. The correct answer is B. Containers are ephemeral by nature. Any data written to the container's internal file system, the writable layer, is tied to the lifecycle of that container. If the container is deleted, that layer is destroyed. This is why persistent volumes or mounts are essential for databases or any stateful application. What is the primary benefit of event-driven architecture in a DevOps context? Option A. It makes debugging easier. Option B. It allows for loose coupling between services and improves scalability. Option C. It eliminates the need for any monitoring. Option D. It makes the code run 10x faster. The correct answer is B. In an event-driven system, services communicate via events. E.g., a file being uploaded triggers a processing script. This means service A doesn't need to know if service B is currently online or where it is located. This loose coupling allows parts of the system to scale independently and fail without taking down the entire application. You want to prevent a single user from overwhelming your API with too many requests. Which mechanism should you implement at the API gateway? Option A, load balancing. Option B, rate limiting, throttling. Option C, caching. Option D, authentication. The correct answer is B. Rate limiting, or throttling, is the practice of limiting the number of requests a user can make within a certain time frame. E.g., 100 requests per minute. This protects the backend services from noisy neighbors or DDoS attacks and ensures fair usage for all customers. Which tool is primarily used for infrastructure visualization and real-time dashboarding of metrics collected by Prometheus? Option A, Grafana. Option B, Docker. Option C, Terraform. Option D, Ansible. The correct answer is A. Grafana is the industry standard visualization tool, while Prometheus is excellent at collecting and storing time series data metrics. It has limited visualization capabilities. Grafana connects to Prometheus and allows you to build beautiful, real-time dashboards to monitor the health of your infrastructure. That wraps up our 30-question deep dive into DevOps Real-World Case Studies. How many did you get right? Let me know in the comments. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more architectural deep dives and certification prep. Don't forget to check out the full course for even more practice. For the full set of practice questions and detailed study guides, check the link in the description below.